raced here in Australia, you've raced in New Zealand, you've raced in the USA, you've raced midgets or speed cars, as we call them, compacts. You've raced non-wing, you've raced sprint cars, obviously. You've had track records at a mile track there in California. And you've had a successful career doing all that for a number of years, and then you had a bad crash. Since then, I know you've worked with other teams. You've even fielded your own car and had other drivers obviously race that. And you've had offers, I know when I was over there racing with you, exactly, myself. I know you've had offers too to run series over there in California, and people really had a lot of hope in you and what you would do. And then this opportunity came up to run Hanford. Why did you take that?
It's pretty simple. Like I like doing when we had a car and we had people like yourself come over and driving. I liked being able to help, like using you as an example. I like being able to help you and just change maybe the way you think about different things to make you hopefully better. Yep. But to make an impact on the sport, to change the sport, because the sport is struggling the way I see it.
Yeah.
This is a bigger stage that I can possibly, if I can get it, change the interest in people and change things around just a little bit.
Sure.
Then I can help the sport a lot more.
How did running Hanford come about?
Obviously, from my crash, I put on a race. I've helped promote. Well, I've promoted the race in my name at Tulare. For I think we got maybe six or 7 years in there, maybe 6. And a deal came up with some people wanted to buy a Skagit Speedway up in Washington. That's and right. They thought that someone like myself would be good at possibly running it, from just from what I've done at just promoting a night. Obviously, a night is not as same as a season, but there was a lot of interest in that happening, and there's about 4 people involved that were talking about doing it. And then bottom line is it never eventuated. There's just people got to get on, I guess, and then be all on the same page, and that was a little bit tough, I think. Sure. But it did spark a big interest in me that this is, I'd like to have a go at that, So the people that had Hanford here before us, they weren't interested in getting rid of it. And they had this track, and they had a little 600 track over in Plaza Park in Visalia.
Sure.
And I just probably annoyed the crap out of them to where they ended up like, there you go, like, there it is, shut up, go away.
So you really pushed to run Hanford to be in your position?
Yeah, well, it was only 40 minutes from home, so and I've raced here, so much since I've been here in California. So I've won a lot of races here, wing and non-wing, and it is just, I just, what they were trying to get me to do up in Washington, it just sparked me a little bit that I wanted to try something. And like I said, at this level, if I do things right and keep everyone's interest, in it, I might be able to help the sport along. Because again, I just think our sport's struggling. It is in California. Sprint car racing is struggling in California, I believe. Although that being said, our last 2 races, our last race we had 40. Just 2 weeks ago, we had 41 sprint cars there, and then the last race of last year we had 55. So I don't know whether that has anything to do with people like coming here now, or just the fact there's nothing else to do. So I'm going to hope it's something to do with what we're doing here, but you just got to take it as it is and see what happens.
I'm sure a big reason for that is that there's this new excitement, like this new injection of excitement at Hanford, because we've seen it before. When there's a new owner at a track, all of a sudden there's this different feel, a different vibe around races and teams, and you can't wait to go there because all these improvements are being made, and these changes that we've all often spoken about are actually going to be made. We've had that here in Sydney a few years ago when Parramatta Speedway was bought, or Valvoline Raceway as we know it now. And there was such an excitement, and all these improvements were made, and then after a couple of years, it all kind of dies off again a bit. So like, what are you thinking of doing? You know, I feel like a lot of people feel like they can promote a sport better than what it's currently being done at their local track.
Mhm.
What improvements do you think you can make and sustain over your period?
Well, at the start, right now, you know, we only had 2 shows with fans, so that it's kind of a problem.
Yeah, it's
That
a
part of
tough
it.
time to take it on board.
Yeah. So, but when is a good time? You know, you could always, you know, say, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not. But unless you have a go, you won't never figure that out. So,
Sure.
um, so you know, we've had what I think was a successful year to the fact that we paid our bills and we don't owe anybody money. So that was a good thing right there. We put on good racing. We got our track better and better. We got our facilities better and better. We got them cleaner. You know, going into this year, we've changed so many things around in the pit area yet again, in incorporating things that we do in Australia and New Zealand to where you're not allowed to drive these things through the pit area, which you've been here, and has a lot of people come off the track faster than they are on the racetrack. So
Yeah.
we got to protect the people that we have in the pits now, like, because there's people in the pits that probably shouldn't, or they've never been there before. So we have to protect them just that little bit. So we've changed things like that. We're changing constantly because if you look at, I'm not going to pick on anyone in general, but sprint car racing here especially is everyone keeps doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And we can't do that. You can't do the same thing and want more cars and look for a different result. It will not happen.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to keep changing things. And I'm big on history, and I love the past, and I like to bring some of the stuff back into the right now, but with a change to it. You know, we can't do it again. We can't do what we've done. Expect a different result. It just doesn't happen. So we have to keep everyone's interest in. You know, and week to week, I can't settle. If I've done something good, well, that's great. But how can I make it better? After the races, I go and watch Flow. I get a replay from Flow, and I look at everything that maybe we could have improved on. You know, I'm like a high school football coach. I watch all the play-by-play, and yeah, oh, we did good then. Oh no, that wasn't so good. So we need to work on that area. You know, so so why I said, you know, we've only had 2 shows with people. Everything that I'm really gearing towards is creating atmosphere. It's hard to create atmosphere when you have no fans.